forward with a loud salawat.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm going to get straight into it because I only have 5 minutes. So, thoughts were racing through my head. I was trying to quickly weigh up the pros and the cons. On the other side of the phone was the radio producer wanting an answer. If I do confirm what she said back to me, will I be a sellout, I asked myself? Am I giving voice to the Islamophobes? What would my community think? But isn't it time I stood up for my beliefs? Wouldn't Allah want me to be honest about who I am? If I know Allah approves, then who is man to judge? It was then that I decided. I replied to the producer, yes, you can call me a Muslim feminist. So why is the F word so bad? Well, feminism in the widest sense is the general concern with women's issues, an awareness that women suffer discrimination at work, in the home, and in society because of their gender. Feminist work is the action that is aimed at improving the lives and changing circumstances so things are more equal. Rosemary Ruther, a feminist theologian and Catholic, describes feminism beautifully. She describes it as the affirmation of the full humanity of women. This means that all the ways that women have been defined as inferior or secondary or dependent on men since the rise of patriarchy is rejected. Newsflash, feminism is not only for women, and it's not about women replacing men, or eradicating them, or gaining power over them. It's about an equal and just society for all. Islamic feminism takes Islam as its source of legitimacy. Muslim feminists believe that men and women should stand together and work together to live the values of their faith and helping each other reach their potential. I'm always fascinated by how no one, apart from racists obviously, would describe racial equality and fairness as a threat to society. Yet many would happily contend that to fight for equality and justice between the genders is a threat to society or even Islam. The Islam and the feminism that I recognize and practice are that which can be found in the Quran and the inspirational acts of its messenger and its women. It is a source of empowerment, a well of nourishment to replenish the soul and make sense of an increasingly complex and contradictory world. It's a set of tools, a body of armor, by which to fight for equality and bring about a vision of the world where human dignity and respect for human rights and responsibility for the environment are at the cornerstone of society. This is my Islam and this is my feminism. As a society, we have a long way to go before we end gender inequality and injustice. But the silence is being broken. We can now begin to publicly name inequality and call for an end to discrimination. We do this by turning to our religion and to our faith as a tool of emancipation that had for a long time been part of the oppressive practice of society. Muslim feminists have begun to dig and are unearthing and documenting knowledge. They are using theological tools and methodologies that would allow for a more empowering and supportive interpretation of the mu'amalat field of Sharia and fiqh, from which so much of our understanding of the quote-unquote natural gender roles in Islam comes from. Muslim feminists also distinguish between Sharia and fiqh. Sharia literally means the path or the road leading to the water source. In Muslim belief, it is the totality of God's will as revealed to the Prophet, peace be upon him, which is continuously unfolding for humanity. Sharia comprises moral and ethical values that embody the spirit and trajectory of Islam's sacred text. a path to guide Muslims on how to live life now and in the world, to prepare for the world after. It cannot be reduced to a rule book or a statute book. Sharia is also different from tafsir. Tafsir is the interpretation of Islam's sacred text, the Quran, and from which fiqh, which is a deduction of legal rules from the text, are then used to make man-made laws and policies. This is not the same as Sharia. Like any other system of jurisprudence, fiqh is a human, temporal, and local activity and discourse. These tools and methodologies result in knowledge that reflect more accurately the increasing active role women have in modern day. It makes women's perspective visible. It also enables a more just interpretation of fiqh that takes account of what the world looks like and feels like from a woman's point of view, and how it affects women's lives from the moment that we are born to our last days on earth. It makes us see women when they have been made invisible throughout the centuries. Then it is no coincidence that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him's first act of public policy was to ban the burial and forced disappearance of girl babies. So you see, rather than being a threat to Islam or society, Islamic feminism is continually exploring the possibilities and potential for both men and women to fulfill their divine instruction, whilst keeping Islam at the very heart and center of its endeavor. For me, it's a framework that allows me to maintain my values of justice and equality, critical thinking and faith all at once, without one being in contradiction with the other. It's brought me closer than anything to the pursuit of the divine, to the values of justice and equality and fairness that Allah and His Prophet and His holy progeny spoke of and enacted. It can do the same for you. My final ask is therefore, next time you're in a discussion or at an event or in a meeting or you're reading something or watching something or streaming something, particularly in relation to Islam or Muslims, I wonder, will you dare to ask, where are the women? Thank you very much.